Hi guys, Sean Citizen here from the loony bin in the largest loony bin in Ireland in the world. It's called Ireland. Funniest story ever I have for you. But first, I'm going to call the first story "Guests of the Nation." I have already made a video about a gentleman from Nigeria who came here 10 years ago with no papers nor nothing and claimed persecution. And he was allowed to stay, got a job in a nursing home and raped half a dozen, no, eight or nine old ladies in the nursing home. So he came a cropper recently in the courts, and he's serving a 10-year sentence for being a bad boy. So Roderick O Gorman's Guest of the Nation #1. Now, here's a really funny story from the Irish Times, Guest of the Nation #2. Um, Guilty plea. A man on disability allowance jailed for money laundering after 228 grand went through his bank account. A father of 11 who received €455 a week in disability allowance, as well as over €164,000 in rent allowance, was jailed for 3 years for money laundering. Cork Circuit Criminal Court was told that Chilimbar Versili, 57, who has previous convictions for stealing money from charity collection boxes in Cork and Waterford churches, had an AIB bank card, and he had over 228,000 was passing and rest through his account. Vasily lives in 13A Eagle Valley, Sarsfield Road, Wilton, Cork, pleaded guilty, and he got a 3 year sentence. Now, the funny thing is, he declared he got this money, it was the proceeds of begging. However, Judge Daly was told by Detective Garda David Kelleher that an investigation began into him over 2 years ago in conjunction with CAB. And when he was questioned by detectives, he was not exact about the source of the money. He said he got it from selling copies of The Big Issue. He also had received €450 a week in disability allowance. Defence counsel Siobhan Langford uh, argued that her client had cooperated with the Guard investigation and significantly aided the state with a plea of guilty, which saved both the time and expense of a potentially lengthy trial. Can you imagine what it cost to investigate him for 2 years, the Gardaí and CAB? She also submitted that the property cited in Romania, he had bought a mansion in Romania in the meantime with some of the money, was in fact a home which had a long family background. However, the Gardaí checked this out and there was no mortgage on it, so they didn't know anything about the long family background. The court was told that Vasily had learned a salutary lesson and had not come to Garda attention since his 2021 arrest. Now, if given an opportunity to prove himself, he will never again misbehave in any way, she said. Judge Daly wasn't happy about the fact that he had claimed social welfare payments while he was accumulating all this money, and also the previous 9 convictions for stealing from charity and church collection boxes. Now, the funny thing is, in one case, he used a special hook to fish cash filled envelopes out of the locked collection boxes and had targeted churches in Dungarvan, Clyne, and Carrickwohill in 2021. He also is suffering from diabetes and epilepsy, no less, hence the no doubt the disability allowance. Now, can you imagine this guy? He has 12, 11 children, 11 offspring here, by the way. So that's a lot of children's allowances he's collecting, at least his wife is. So between the whole lot of them, they must have been getting a fortune from the state. He didn't really need to enrich himself fishing money out of the church boxes, but he was just a greedy guy and he did. Now, the funny thing is, I have a picture in my mind about this fella with his disabilities and his epilepsy and his hand trembling as he dips the hook into all the collection boxes in all the churches around the south of Ireland and fishes out all the money and goes home and counts it, counts all the cash and puts it into his bank account. Uh, you couldn't make up this stuff in a million years. Another guest of Roderick O Gorman, who's been living here for so long, allowed to stay here, given a fortune in Irish taxpayers' money. Now, some of the Irish are good at claiming disability allowance. It's the gold standard for getting a solid pension if you can get it. But it seems to me a lot of these foreigners have already gone ahead. They're more Irish than the Irish themselves. Most of the scammers seem to already have disability allowances, and they have a wife and 8 or 9 kids, and a grandmother and a grandma whom they've brought from Romania or Syria or Iraq or wherever. And it's the amount of money, the amount of money that they must be dipping into from the taxpayers' funds. I have a friend who couldn't even get an Irish passport, and he's married to an Irish woman for the last 50 years. And he's been given the runaround, so he won't even get an Irish pension or anything. Um, and he has worked hard and contributed in PRSI and everything for the whole 50 years. And you can come into this country as a scammer with no papers, and somehow or another, you can get disability pensions, you can get all kinds of things, and a house to live in, and bring your whole family of 10 little criminals, potential criminals, with you. Can you imagine when his gang grow up? Talk about the mafia in New York. Oh, heavens above. Could you make up anything like this? It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. They should make a Hollywood blockbuster about this true story of the church dipping Romanian with all the unaccounted for money and the epilepsy and the diabetes, who became almost a millionaire, and he says he got it all from begging. But we don't know. But anyway, look, guys, good luck. Good luck from the lunatic asylum. Share this if you will, please. Deadliest ever Irish coalition government is my Facebook site, and soldiersofdestiny.org also. Good luck, guys. Good luck.